Oh my God, we're finally back. Here we are once
Hi, we are
again.
back.
Yes, conversation with Kely. We had to come back because, well, after I don't know how long, we finally do have a cast assessment for Celebrity Big Brother, the latest season. We finally have an idea of who this cast is going to be. We're very excited for it, of course. And before we do get into that, I am, of course, here with my lovely and beautiful co-host, Ellie. How are you doing today?
I am doing amazing. I'm excited to talk about this season with
Me
you,
too.
and yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of surreal that Celebrity Big Brother is coming back because I feel like we were pretty convinced that like it was kind of just gone and it wasn't gonna, you
hey
know,
Matthew.
yes, hi Matthew. Also hi
Hey.
Manea. Great to see you guys as always. But yeah, it's crazy that Celebrity Big Brother is coming back. I am very excited to see how this season does turn out, but I will say this is definitely not the cast I expected in any way. But I will say right off the bat, am I disappointed? No. And the reason I'm not disappointed is because this is what I expected. Like, I pretty much expected that this cast was going to be a bunch of D-listers, some that we know, but very few that we do. They were famous at one point in time, but they're not really famous now. So I'm not necessarily disappointed with this cast. I was hoping that it would be a little bit better. I was hoping that we'd have at least some recognizable faces. And it's not like we don't, but I just feel like the majority of these people are not necessarily people I would consider celebrities, at least these days.
Yeah.
What do you think of this cast overall? Yes,
I
very much
mean, I'm
this.
not.
Very weird assembling as well.
Oh yeah, it's very. I mean, I'm not disappointed in this cast.
No.
Like some of them, like a lot of them, they do have potential, but it's a completely random cast. So like,
Yes, very
we'll
much that.
see. Like obviously, there's a few I'm like really rooting for, and the others we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I did say on Twitter, and I will definitely reiterate this, is that the fact that we have a more like unknown cast, there's a way fewer expectations coming into the season. Like there's no one where I'm like, this is the person I'm looking forward to the most, or this person like I want to do so well, even if they're not playing a good game, I'm gonna root hard for them. Like there isn't really someone like that this season. And I think that's good because we can go in fresh, not really having too many opinions on these people, and really just hoping that we get a solid season. Like that's really all I'm hoping for.
Yes.
You guys know I'm a fan of Celebrity Big Brother 1. I was not a huge fan of Celebrity Big Brother 2. Thought they took it a little too seriously overall. So I wasn't
I actually I actually like both seasons, like
mhm,
because there was people that I liked on both, and just like the gameplay for both was very interesting, and they were all here to play.
mhm. All right, yeah. Definitely. I just liked the gameplay of one. I liked how they were just kind of like having fun, and I felt like two they just took it a bit too seriously for me. But we'll see how this cast really does go. I'm excited to see how it does overall turn out. But we're gonna go ahead and get started as usual. I have all of the people on here, and then we're gonna go through their bios and things like that, and then we're going to draft them. You guys know how this is going to go at this point because we did the same thing for Survivor. So we're going to go ahead and get started with this first person. I think we'll just do the like same thing we did last time. We'll all introduce one, then you'll introduce the next one, and we'll go about it
Yeah,
that way. Um,
yeah, I like that.
okay. Yeah. I
Yeah,
agree with that. I think that is fun to watch overall, especially
it
when
is
you have
really
like the meta
fun.
world pieces and people like that who really just have no idea what they're doing, but you can tell are still like having a fun experience nonetheless. I do agree with that. But anyway, I'm gonna pull up the cast here. Um, can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our first person. And the first person we have here is someone I think a lot of people were speculating on. We're going to talk about Carson Kressley. Now, he, of course, came to prominence in the early 2000s as one of the Fab Five in Queer Eye. He now serves as a judge on RuPaul's Drag Race, and getting into his bio a little bit, some of the questions that he was asked here. I'll get into that in a little bit once the screen share thing works. Okay, there we go. So he was asked by, okay, here's some of the questions he was asked. The best advice he received before coming to play was basically he, talked to other celebrities who play Big Brother. They said to just be himself, and that really is what he's always done on television. So he thinks is going to be pretty easy for him. He doesn't really plan to do anything but be himself. He talks about the one thing that people might dislike about him is that he's a little bossy, and he always knows what's best, whether it's what he should be eating or how he should be decorating the house. And he talks about how they're going to be sick of his suggestions. In terms of he talks about, is it more important for him to be a strategic mastermind or the social butterfly? I like his answer here where he talks about how there are two ways to play Big Brother, how you can either be the social butterfly or, you can be a conniving strategist, and he's going to try to maybe do both. And that's not easy to do. So I'm wondering if he's actually going to be able to pull that off. He talks about the thing that people are going to underestimate about him is that he is really nice, but he has this more he is still willing to do anything to win a game. He's going to be a bit more cutthroat, which is something that people are going to underestimate overall. And he says that he hopes that he's able to just have a lot of fun. He's able to bond with new people, and that's really what it's all about. So, I'm a big fan of him just from these answers. I don't know a ton about Carson Kressley overall, but I think he's going to be someone that he comes in. I can definitely see that too. I can
see that.
A lot of people have brought up, obviously, Ross Matthews, season 1. He got pretty far. I can see a lot of parallels between him and Carson Kressley, but what I think Carson already is doing a really good job with is that he recognizes that he is generally likable and that he can't just be this game bot. He has to be someone that's having fun. He has to be someone that, people are able to interact with. That's something that Tiffany did really well, actually, last season, is that not only was she a master strategist, but everyone felt go there because she was always cracking jokes and just having fun. And I think that's something that Carson's going to do really well here overall. I think he's someone that people are going to vastly estimate. He talks about how a lot of people see him as this, nice guy. They don't really realize he has this more intimidating side, and I think that's really going to benefit him well. So I see a lot of good things going Carson's way. How do you feel about Carson Kressley's chances in this game overall?
I actually really like him. He's very funny, very likable. I can definitely see those parallels with Ross. But I can definitely see him being kind of like Tiffany too, being a jokester, but also being very social and just very strategic and maybe a little physical if he needs to be, but only if he really needs it. But I can definitely see him being America's favorite player, and I think he's going to do really well. He's definitely someone who has a lot of potential in this game.
Definitely. Oh my God, it's a fellow production member of Conversation with Kely Livingston. Inside joke if you
we love Liv.
But yes, we do love Liv, and always love the support as always, and we're excited to hear your thoughts about this cast assessment whenever you do get around to watching it. Anyways, you're going to go ahead and talk about the next person, which I believe is one of the two Chris's on this cast. I don't know which one's going to come up first, but you're going to introduce the next person here.
All right, this is This is Chris Kirkpatrick, and he's from the 90s, 2000s boy band NSYNC. He gained international fame as a member of the boy band NSYNC. Let's see if the other house guest will be saying bye to his BV stay anytime soon.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That is a really bad description. However, However, this is ignoring a very important part of his history. The thing that we all know him for. Who cares about NSYNC? This was Chip Skylark. Yes, the Chip Skylark from the Fairly Odd Parents. That is what's important. This is not Chris Kirkpatrick. This is Chip Skylark. There are two Chris's. There's two Chris K's, and I don't care what's happening. I am calling him Chip Skylark for this entire season, just because it's going to be a lot easier to identify. Unless one of them leaves early, which ideally that can happen, so that way we don't have to get confused. But until the other Chris K leaves, or if he leaves, I'm calling him Chip Skylark. Like, that's just how it's gonna go. So yeah, anyway, let's get into now that we're done with that little tangent there, we're gonna get into his bio, which interesting stuff he has to say here overall. Let me just pull it up. Okay, there we go. Chris Kirkpatrick.
All right. So his best advice he received was to listen and to think that I think that some things everybody should do. If I can sit back and just listen to everybody else, let them run things, make the moves, and do what they have to do, and then eat each other up, then it's better for my game.
That's I like that answer. That is a good answer.
I actually like that answer. Yeah. It's like a good one.
Yeah.
Something other house guests may dislike about him. He thinks the other house guests might not like the fact that he jokes around way too much. In the scenario of the Celebrity Big Brother house, there's probably going to be instances where they're going to want something to be serious. I just can't be serious. Plus, I have restless leg syndrome, and it's hard to sit for a long period of time. That's going to annoy people. I mean, I don't know if it will annoy them, because, a lot of people do have that.
We'll see.
But we'll see. We'll see, though. And most important, is it more important for you to be the strategic mastermind or the social butterfly? I think it's more important to be the social butterfly. The social butterfly can still be strategic. It's about making those relationships and not angering anybody and playing the game right away.
That's a good answer. I think you can be strategic, you can be a game bot, but you got to have that good social game to back it up. And I think that is overall a pretty solid answer. Oh
yeah, I like that answer a lot.
Yeah.
What will the other house guests underestimate about you the most? I think they're going to underestimate my stunning good looks.
His shiny teeth. Don't forget.
I go in there with this beautiful face, and they're just going to see it and just think of me as a character or an actor. No, I'm just kidding. Ha ha ha. I think they're going to underestimate the fact that I love mind games, and I love just playing games. I'm going to enjoy this whole experience.
I'm going to get to that, Adrian. Don't you worry. I'm going to get to that. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit.
All right. Outside of the win, what are you hoping to get most out of your time in the Big Brother house?
Oh, really? All right. That's what he wants to get out of his time. Got it.
I was just saying goodbye to Audrey.
Oh. Audrey's leaving for the Big Brother house.
Yes. Big Brother Canada house. All right. Outside of the win, what are you hoping to get most out of your time in the Big Brother house? I'm hoping to make a lot of friends and have a lot of fun. I've been a big fan of this show. So going around the house, experiencing the competitions, experiencing Julie, experiencing everything Celebrity Big Brother has to offer. That's what I'm most excited about.
All right. So general impressions on him is I'm not really sure how he's going to do. I think he has some idea of how the game is supposed to be. I like what he said about being a social butterfly and things like that. But I am worried he's going to be a bit annoying and that he's going to rub some people the wrong way. I'm not really sure. I kind of agree with Matthew's comment here. Where I know where he's from, but I don't really know how he's going to be. And yeah, I do want to pull this up. He did say in another interview that he was a fan
of Jackson Mickey.
Yeah, he was a fan of Jackson Mickey. He was also a fan of Derek Levasseur, which is fine. Derek played a great game, but not a good person. Neither of them are good people, but you know, overall, I don't really know how to feel about him. I don't really know how he's going to play in the grand scheme of things. And it's really going to come down to, is he able to work well with this cast? Does he really fit in? I kind of see him being like a Joey Lawrence and like Celebrity Big Brother 2, where he just is never really able to like find his footing. And I feel like he might be in that position. So I don't know. I don't know how he's going to do.
Yeah, I kind of echo that. Like, he could be very annoying. He could be social too. It really depends. Like,
he could also be like who is that in one Mark something from Sugar Ray?
Oh yeah,
Mark McGrath. That was it. Yeah, Mark McGrath.
Mark
He could
McGrath.
also be like him. But I don't know if he has like I don't know if he's going to be able to you know, I don't think if he's gonna be as, you know, as good as him as he did in this season. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
He didn't really do much.
Yeah, I don't know. I can see him being social with a couple people, but I don't think a lot of people are going to vibe with him, but we'll see. Maybe they will. Who knows? I love being surprised.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I see him being like second or third boot. I don't really see him going super far.
Yeah, same. I don't
like,
I don't really know.
I don't think he gives me first boot energy, but like early boot energy.
No, I wouldn't say that. Oh, I just pulled up the next person.
Good job.
But yeah, I think those are all our thoughts on Chris Kirkpatrick. Just big wild card. Like generally just a big wild card. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I could see that as well, but I don't know if he's going to get as far as Mark. I don't know if he's going to have as the charm that he did. I don't know if he's going to be able to fly under the radar like he did. I'm not really sure how he's going to go. Oh my God. Hi, John. But yeah, that's our thoughts on Chris Kirkpatrick. Now let's talk about the other Chris of the season. One of the only people I recognize, not Chip Skylark. All right, we're going to move on to the person I'm actually going to refer to as Chris. Like I said, I'm calling him Chip Skylark all season. But the next person we have here is Chris Kattan. Now, Chris Kattan, he is a comedian on SNL. He was in things like Night at the Roxbury, and he's most well known, of course, for SNL and some other works here and there. He's someone I was very excited to see. I don't know. Are you a fan of Chris Kattan? Do you recognize him?
I don't dislike him or anything. You know what? Another let's call them Chip and Cat. That's what we're gonna call the
Chip and Cat. All right, we'll go with that. But pulling up his bio here. Okay. That's not him. There we go. He has very short answers for the most part. When he asks the best advice he received before coming out to play, he just talks about having a good time and being himself. Some of the other house guests may dislike. He brings up how, like, you know, he talks about how he's going to be very relaxed. He doesn't really know how Big Brother is really going to be. When he's asked about strategic mastermind or social butterfly, he says that he's more of a social butterfly. Obviously, if he's a comedian, we would expect that. The other thing that the other house guests are going to underestimate about him, he says he's much better looking in person. And outside of the win, he says he just wants to have a good enough time. And I'll be honest, I don't see him doing well at all. I get the sense that he has no idea what he is getting himself into. I feel like he is very underprepared. He doesn't realize what he really signed himself up for. The way he describes this, he thinks it's going to be this like relaxing and like fun experience. I don't think he realizes he's playing like a social strategy game, and I think this is really going to hurt him overall. So I'll be honest, I don't really see him getting very far at all. But what do you think?
Yeah, I kind of agree with Adrienne that he's kind of like the polar opposite of Tom Green.
Yeah, because we forget, like, Tom Green was a student of the game. Like, he knew Big Brother really well.
Oh yeah. Like this, I feel like he's going to
not a good player, but like he at least, you know, he tried.
Yeah, I feel like Chris Kattan's definitely not going to make it super far. I mean, who knows? Maybe he'll surprise us, but yeah. So far as of right now, I feel like he's just going to be like very confused of what's happening. But maybe he'll try and like make those relationships. Who knows? But he gives me like first, second boot energy.
I see him either going like first or second, or I could see him being like someone they take out in like a random like Monday eviction or something. I just don't see him getting very far in this cast. I feel like he's gonna be one of those people who's just very lost, doesn't really know what the game entails, doesn't really seem to much of an understanding. I feel like he's gonna crack a lot of jokes, and you know, I think with Tom Green, people understood what he was doing. They enjoyed him, but he wasn't always just clowning around. There were many points where when he needed to strategize, he strategized. Again, not very good, but he did try to strategize. Whereas I feel like Chris Kattan, he's just going to be cracking jokes. He's always going to be acting like a comedian, and I just don't see him getting very far. I can actually see that. I can actually see that, Matthew. I could see him being the first boot because, again, he seems the most underprepared, maybe out of everyone. I mean, we have to look at some of the other interviews, but I mean, the short answers that he gave and things like that, it just seems he has no idea what he's getting himself into. Actually, I don't think even Joey Lawrence, because Joey Lawrence, like, he was trying to play the game. He just never could find anyone, like, solid enough to stick with. Like, I think that was, like, his issue in Celebrity Big Brother 2. I think if he had certain people, like, say, Ryan or Jonathan stayed, I think he actually could have gotten a bit farther. But yeah, that I could definitely see him being a pawn because I don't think a lot of people are going to take him all that seriously. But yeah, I mean, I just don't see him getting very far at all. So yeah.
Yeah, like those short answers are just what really gets me. Like is very confused about the game.
Yeah.
Like he was probably just like, oh, sure, I'll play because maybe he was asked. So he was like, he didn't want to turn it down.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it definitely seems like I wouldn't have been surprised if they had like other comedians lined up and he was like the only one that said yes. They're like, all right, fine, we'll take Chris Kattan. So yeah, that's kind of how we feel about him. Moving on, though, we're going to talk about the next person here. Not a Chris. We're done with the Chris's. So we moved on from that. Let's talk about the next person here.
All right. Cynthia Bailey spent decades working in acting and modeling before she found her way onto The Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Oh, my favorite.
Oh, yeah. She stayed on the show for 11 years, recently taking part in the spinoff The Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, which I've never watched.
No, I do want to say, yeah, I can also see Chris Kattan being like a meta where he doesn't know what he's doing. So I'm not talking shit. I'm just...
You don't talk shit.
I'm not talking shit. I'm just giving my honest opinion of these people.
Honestly, Cynthia is amazing so far, though.
Yeah, let's get to some of her answers here because I actually have not been paying attention as much to her. So I kind of want to see what she has to say, just because I haven't really seen much. Like I've been paying mostly attention just like stuff I've seen on Twitter, and I haven't seen a ton about her. So I kind of just want to see like what she said.
All right. The best advice she received before coming out to play. The best advice that I've received is to just have fun and just be myself. And I'm going to
Carson.
Advice. And something other house guests may dislike. I'm pretty easy to get along with, honestly. I don't think the other house guests are going to dislike anything about me, really. I'm pretty easygoing. I'm not really that high maintenance. I'm not a diva. I'm friendly. I'm helpful, if anything. Hopefully I'll win Miss Congeniality. I don't think there's even an award for that. Ha 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 ha.
I love that.
I love that. Yeah, that's a really great answer.
Yeah.
Is it more important for you to be strategic mastermind or social butterfly? I think I've got to play both. I don't think Big Brother is the kind of house you go into with just one strategy. Mm-hmm. You have to be flexible. You have to be able to slide back and forth between people, go to rooms and see who everyone is talking about. You have to be social in that house. Otherwise, you're not going to know what's going on, which that's a really great answer.
Yeah, I agree with that a lot. I think, when it comes to Big Brother, you have to try to adapt. And I think that she definitely understands that.
Yeah. What will the other house guests underestimate about you? I think the other house guests will underestimate the fact that although I'm not super athletic or physical, I still have some good upper and lower body strength still left in me. I will probably be one of the older people in the house, and they will probably take my oldness for weakness.
No, she's not. No. Most of them are around your age, so
literally,
that's fine.
If she has these mental notes from Candy, and also
we'll talk about that in a little bit.
All right. Outside of the win, what are you hoping to get most out of your time in the Big Brother house? I really hope to have an amazing time and make some amazing friends. I'm really looking forward to seeing who's going to be in the house and connecting with everyone on some level.
Yeah, I really like her a lot. Right off
Me
the bat, I
too.
think that I think what's this is the impression I get from her. I see her being someone that like everyone's able to get along with well socially to the point where they're
Yeah.
never really going to want to go for her. But also because of that, I think she's really going to be underestimated in the game. I don't think people are going to realize a lot of the like social work that she's doing to like really, you know, help her position. So yeah, I see her getting really far. At least I would say like 5th place. Like I see her making it to the finale. I will say that. Which I hate the way they do the finales, by the way, in Celebrity Big Brother. Can I just say that I fucking hate the way they do the finales? But I do see her making it to the finale, just based on these answers.
Oh yeah. I can definitely see her making it really far. I can see her being social, strategic, and physical in a way. Like I can see her being kind of like a triple threat. I mean, she's not my number one winner pick, but I do see her making it to at least 2nd or 3rd or 4th. She's definitely going to make it far. She's also like I could either see her being like very social where everyone trusts her, or just be very under the radar where she's just kind of like maybe kind of invisible in the game where like nobody's coming for her. But yeah, I definitely see her making it really far, and she has a lot of potential.
Yeah, no, I think she's going to do really well. I want to refer to what some people are saying here. Apparently, she has notes from Candy and Tamar, which is really good. It's good that she reached out to both of them. Candy, so you guys know Candy for me was my favorite player of Celebrity Big Brother 2. I wanted her to win, and I do think she had a really solid social game. But what I think Cynthia already is going to have the leg up with her is that Candy didn't really start doing that much until like later on in the game. She was very much just kind of flying by at that point. And I think Cynthia, you know, right off the bat, she's going to try to play hard, and I think she's going to try to make those connections. And I think especially if this cast like doesn't really know what they're doing, I think that's definitely going to help Cynthia, who seems to know very well what she's doing. So yeah, I definitely. Oh, really? Okay. I mean, Todrick has a lot of connections, I think.
Oh yeah,
we'll get into him, and we'll get into him later. But yeah, I think she's going to do really well. So I think out of all the people we've discussed, I see her doing the best.
Oh yeah, I can see her doing really well.
Yeah, me too. All right, so that's Cynthia. This is true as well. This is true as well. I don't know much about Teddy, but yeah, that could also happen. We could have like kind of a Tamar Candy type rivalry there, but we'll have to see. All right, so we're gonna get to the next person here, who we have Lamar Odom, and he of course made a name for himself on the NBA court, winning championships as part of the LA Lakers in 2009, 2010. But he's no stranger to reality TV because he was, of course, married to Khloe Kardashian. He was on Keeping Up with Our Kardashians for a while. Another big, like, I don't know how he's going to do for me. I'm really unsure how Lamar is going to do in the game. Before we get to his interview questions, I mean, just general impressions. How do you feel about Lamar?
Like Adrian said, yeah, he doesn't know what show he's on, so he's probably.
I mean, look at his photo. He seems so miserable to like be there. He's like,
yeah, it looks like a mugshot. Like
No, it does. It does.
He probably just, yeah, he doesn't know. He's probably gonna be like Chris Kattan, knowing nothing about the game. He's just like there. He's basically just there, just like, yeah, I was asked. Sure, I don't want to say no, but like, I'm just here for the fame.
Well, anyway, let's get to this monstrosity of interview answers here, because to be honest, these are probably even worse than Chris Kattan's.
Oh yeah, they're
saying
so
here.
bad.
Okay, so when he's asked the best advice he received before coming out to play, literally all he says is "be selfish," which, like, no, that's not what you want to say. Like, yes, obviously you want to play for yourself, but like, be selfish is not the way to go about it. Something the other house guests may dislike about you. He talks about how like he's loyal and he's heard a lot of shady things happen in the Big Brother house. And I don't understand why they're going to dislike his loyalty. That doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, that immediately tells me he doesn't know what he's talking about. What's more important, the strategic mastermind, the social butterfly, talks about how he's going to fall somewhere in the middle. I want to see him elaborate on that. I see where he's going, but like, I don't really think he knows what he's talking about. Other house guests going to underestimate is that he's a killer. That's all he says. He's a killer. And then outside the win, he hopes that he can be loved and that he's going to get some sort of endorsement or something like that. And there's going to be a lot of people watching. And he says he's going to get like a really good sum just to show his face. So yeah, I mean, flop, like generally flop answers. I do not see him doing well at all here. I feel like he's going to be someone, he's going to get in the house. He's going to be like really good in like the diary rooms. But like, aside from that, he's not going to give much of anything. I don't see him being someone, maybe he's going to bond with Chris Kattan because those are two people that don't seem to know what the hell they're doing. So maybe they're going to bond. But like, aside from that, I don't see him doing well at all. I honestly... I do get Meta vibes. I do get Meta vibes, but at least with Meta, like Meta seemed like he wanted to be there. I don't get the sense Lamar wants to be there. Like I feel like he was kind of just like swindled into this, and I don't see him doing well at all here.
Oh my god, yeah. He definitely gives me first boot energy or quitting energy.
I can see him quitting. I can.
I feel like Chris Kattan might be the only person he bonds with. Maybe he won't even bond with either of them. He's just gonna be like, hey, yeah, I'm just here. I'm not gonna win comps. I'm just gonna like sit around on my ass and do nothing, you know.
Chris Kattan's like cracking all the jokes, and he's just like sulking around, like, get me out of here.
Yeah, he's like, just get me out of here. I want to be first boot. But yeah, I don't have high hopes for him at all.
No, I just...
And also his answers are awful.
I mean, the fact that he literally said in the last question he just wants money, like that pretty much sums it up right there. Very much not someone I'm looking forward to. Look, maybe he'll surprise us. We're going in with such low expectations with him. He could very well surprise us. He could turn out to be like the underdog of the season. Maybe he wins the season. I don't know. But like... Oh my God. Based on these answers, I am not liking what I'm hearing, and I don't see him getting very far at all. And I don't think he knows what he's getting himself into. So, yeah, not much to say about Lamar other than I think he's a flop. I do. I don't think he's going to. I don't think he's going to go far very much at all. But with that said, let's get to the next person here. Someone I don't know at all, but we're going to talk about them anyway.
Who is this?
I don't know.
Is this a new person?
Yeah.
I've never heard of a Misha Tate on this season.
Yeah, she was introduced.
What? I did not remember seeing her on the thing.
It's probably because like a lot of them were just very quick, and she's probably one of the least known people.
I'm so confused. I did not see this woman. I swear to God, I didn't even see this woman on the cast reveal.
Yeah.
Misha Tate is a mixed martial artist ready to step into a very different octagon inside the Big Brother house. She is a former UFC women's bantamweight champion and currently ranks number 8.
I think.
Yeah. And currently ranks number 8 in her category in the world.
Yes, this is definitely off to a bad start.
Well, I mean, if
let's get to her answers. Let's see what she says.
Yeah. I need to see her answers. Let's see.
Yeah, I know jack shit about her as well. So.
All right.
You have as much knowledge about Misha as some of these people know about Big Brother. So, like...
I did not even know this lady was even on the cast.
Yeah, she is. Lamar Odom. Where is she?
Am I?
Oh, there she is.
All right. Best advice she received. Have fun with it and take it day by day. I think that's really solid advice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, that's good, but it's kind of short.
Kind of short.
Something they dislike about her. How much time and space that I will take up in the gym. And just the fact that I'll be a physical threat is something I think I'll have to tread lightly with. I'd be happy to train with other house guests if they want to come into the gym and taste my world a little bit. I have no problem with that, so long you let me get my workout in first. I mean, she'll definitely be a physical threat.
Yeah.
More important for Strategic Mastermind or Social Butterfly. What I think I'm going to do the best at on the show is winning competitions when I need to and being strategic about that so I don't put too big of a target on myself. I'm not a social butterfly, so I've got to be strong in other areas. Underestimate. I think they're actually going to overestimate me. I'm afraid that the other house guests will see me as an immediate threat just because I'm very physical, and I think I'll do well in the physical challenges. And historically, athletes have been voted off pretty soon. Anybody who has a real athletic presence about them tends to get ganged up on, and everybody knows they need to get them out of the house early.
That's not good, Misha. Like,
yikes.
What are you going to do to, like, overcome that?
Outside the win. Well, what I'm hoping to get out of the Big Brother house is a new experience where I can continue to learn about myself. What the heck am I going to do when I film 24 hours a day and I'm cut off from the world? That kind of Misha Tate is gonna rise from the ashes. We'll find out.
I honestly have no idea how she's gonna do. I'll be honest with you. I see this going like one of two ways for her. Either she is a comp beast and she wins like every comp and she's able to get to the end because of that, because of her just being like this major comp beast, or people are going to clock early on that she's a physical threat and she gets taken out very early because of that. I don't see it going any other way for her. She could turn out to be like a Natalie Eva Marie, but I wouldn't really say Natalie was like that successful of a player, because the thing that got her out was just how her social game just really flamed out at the end, and just ended up being very exposed towards the end of it all, and basically left because of her like association with Lolo. So yeah, I don't really know how Misha's gonna do at this point. I feel like she is, like I said, she's either going super far or she's going extremely early, and I don't know which it's gonna be.
I honestly think, like, since she said she should mainly just a physical threat and like I guess strategic too, but she said she's not social, so that's definitely going to hurt her game. But yeah. I feel like the only way she'll get far is by winning all the comps. But yeah, I agree with this. She definitely needs a social game. But I either seeing her being like third bootish or winning a bunch of comps to get far, like maybe at most like sixth.
Well, see, ideally, you would think her saying, like, her knowing she's going to be overestimated is, like, a good thing. My problem is she doesn't really say what she's going to do to, like, stop that from being an issue. Like, she doesn't really say, okay, but I'm going to be able to avoid that because of this. Like, I need to hear that from her, and it doesn't really seem like she has much of a plan going in, which is not a bad thing. Like, going in with no expectations and kind of just, like, figuring things out on the fly, that's not a bad thing. Derek X really perfected that last season. But like, I don't know. I just, big wild card, like generally big wild card. I don't think I don't think like she's going to do as bad as like say Chris Kattan or Lamar. But I don't think she's going to do as good as Cynthia, or especially the next person we're about to talk about. I don't.
Yeah, she's definitely like, she's definitely the biggest wild card in this for me.
This too. I could very well. I actually, you know what? That might actually be the most likely outcome, because I can see
I can see that. Yeah, that's very true.
She wins the HOH.
Very likely.
She wins the veto, and people are like, we got to get her out. And that's what happens. They take her, like, the first comp is like very physical. The veto's more physical. And then the second comp is the second week, it's a little bit more like, strategic, and she doesn't do quite as well, and they're like, all right, Misha's got to go. So I can very well see that happening, honestly. I don't see her doing super well, but unless she, like I said, she becomes this comp beast and just wins everything, I don't see her doing super well. So yeah, that's how I feel about Misha Tate. Now, moving on to someone I'm very excited to talk about. I'm sure most people as well are also very excited. Let's talk about Mirai. So
she's actually my favorite right now.
as she is for a lot of people. But she is a figure skater, and she holds several records, including being the second youngest woman to win a U.S. senior ladies title and the first American ladies single skater to land a triple axel at the Olympics, which I don't know what that means, but it sounds very impressive.
Well, I mean, also I love figure skating and I love the movie Ice Princess, so like triple axel is like a big thing.
Yeah, where's Michelle Trachtenberg? Come on, get her on Celebrity Big Brother.
Yes.
But anyway, let's get to her answers here, because this is what really impresses me about Mirai, is the answers that she gives. Because, you know, a lot of these people have said like very similar things where it's like, oh, I'm going to try to be social, I'm going to try to be strategic. But Mirai really gives some good answers, where when she's asked the best advice she received before coming out to play, she says the best play is to be a great listener. She doesn't want to be like Frenchie and creeping on everyone, but she wants to be organically in the right place at the right time. That's a perfect answer, in my opinion. Like right off the bat, it shows that like
best answer.
Yeah, no, it shows that like she knows the game, she knows what she's getting into, and I really like that a lot. I think she gave a really good answer there. Some of the other house guests are going to dislike about her. She talks about how as an athlete she's a natural people pleaser, but if there's anything that the other house guests might dislike about her, that she's too likable and that she's a great listener, and they'll say that they have to watch out for her because she's in on all the alliances. I can see that. I will say that. I can definitely see that hurting her, but I think that some of her other answers make that so that's not going to be an issue. When asked about strategic mastermind social butterfly, she says she wants to be the best of both worlds. She says
she wants the best of both worlds. She's Hannah Montana.
Yeah, she says her social game is more important. She feels like people who like each other and are loyal to each other usually make it until the end. And so she hopes she can be that social butterfly. And then what the other house guests are going to underestimate, she says that the other house guests are going to underestimate her knowledge of the game, and that she wants to be more of a social butterfly and be a better listener than so obvious about her strategies. And I love what she says outside the win. She talks about how when she's in the Big Brother house, she does not see herself as a celebrity. So automatically that puts her above a lot of people who have said, oh, I want to be famous, I want to be entertaining. Like that's not what Mirai is about here. She says she's really excited to connect with people who love that experience. She doesn't really get an opportunity to become friends, and that this type of capacity when you're thrown into living with a group of people. And she hopes she's able to get a really good experience out of it. Yeah, I mean, winner pick right here. Like generally winner pick energy.
Oh yeah, she's my winner pick for sure.
Yeah, I think she is just so far ahead of so many people in terms of her knowledge of the game.
Oh, yeah.
She seems to have a very good understanding of how it's supposed to go. And what I especially like about her is that she brings up that, you know, yes, she's going to be a physical threat, but she doesn't really focus that much on it. She focuses more on the social aspect, and that's good because she knows that that's what's most important. Like you can be a physical threat, but I don't really think that matters that much at the end of the day. What matters a lot more in the social and strategic aspect. And I think that's something that people are going to very much underestimate when it comes to Mirai. I think the other thing that's really going to help her is that she's one of the youngest people going into the house. And I've seen some people say this could be a detriment. Like this could really hurt her because a lot of the people are a lot older. I actually think it's going to help her because I think what helps Mirai is that a lot of people aren't going to know her, and they're going to naturally gravitate towards her, and they're going to see her as like someone that's a lot younger. They're going to see her as someone that they can just, you know, kind of just, you know, use to their advantage. But I think she's going to be the one using them. And I think that definitely is going to help her overall. I think overall she's going to do really well in this cast. I see her going super far, and definitely the person that I feel the best going in. Definitely. She doesn't, that's true too. She doesn't have too many connections aside from Carson. So I think that's going to help her as well because there isn't really any history between these people. So I think she's going to go in, she's going to have this really amazing social game, and she's going to end up getting super far because of it. So yeah, not too many worries about Mirai. I think, again, the only real worry that could potentially hurt her is that people clock early on, like how good she is at like certain, social skills. But yeah, that too, I think she's really going to show up in the endurance comps. But I also see Mirai being someone that throws comps. I see her doing that. I see her not wanting to win a lot of comps because she wants to focus on her social game. But I think when those important comps come, I think she's going to show up, and I think she's going to do super well. So yeah, I feel very good about Mirai's chances.
Yeah, she's definitely my favorite right now, and winner pick for sure. I mean, I could see her like going in there and like bonding really well with people. Like she'll probably use her like young age to kind of like use that to her advantage to like talk to people, make those connections. Like maybe she'll bond with like the people who are like way older than her. And then she'll probably be very strategic when she needs to, because obviously she's very smart, but she'll probably like be low key about that. And maybe she won't confess that she's that smart and with all that knowledge until the end. And then physical, I could see her throwing comps, but like I could definitely see her I can see her trying to win them when she needs to. Like she'll definitely do well in the endurance and like the slip and slide, because obviously she's a skater. But I have a lot of high hopes for her.
I do see her throwing comps, because I think that Mirai realizes that like that's not what's important. Her social game is what's important. She wants to very much like focus on that, and I think that's gonna definitely take her far. So yeah, that's I think we've pretty much said all we need to when it comes to Mirai. She's easily the person I feel the most promise, I think, going in. You're gonna get the next person. I don't know who the hell this is. Like right off the bat, who is this? I don't know this person.
I have no idea.
But talk about whoever this is.
Shanna Mopler made a name for herself in the pageant scene, becoming Miss USA in the late 90s. But she never stayed far from the screen, playing a regular role in Pacific Blue.
What is that?
No idea. And appearing in a reality show with her then husband, Travis Barker. Sure.
Great. A lot of accomplishments there. Let's see what she has to say. I don't have like anything to say about her before the interview.
I have no idea who this woman is.
Yeah, I don't either. I know as much about her as you did as Misha Tate. So,
well, Misha Tate just showed up. I've not seen her before.
She was definitely in the video. It was just like very quick.
Unless I thought she was somebody else.
I don't know.
All right, best advice she received. The best advice I've received, honestly, is just to be myself, which is normal. My family is very supportive, and they feel that I have a fun, outgoing personality, and that the other members in the house will enjoy that, so I'm going to try to take that advice. Okay, that's a pretty good answer.
Yeah.
What's something the other house guests may dislike? I can be really loud. I'm an East Coast girl, and I'm constantly being told I'm too loud. So I'm going to try to work on that.
So we know who we're going to hear on the feeds a lot.
Yeah. She's probably going to just be talking a lot.
Yeah.
Very chatty. House guests underestimate. I will... strategic mastermind or social butterfly. I want to find a happy medium in playing this game.
I feel like they all say that.
Yeah, that's true. But like they rephrase it.
Yeah.
I think to be strategic, you have to get to know everybody and know where their strategy is. So I'm going to try to do both. Underestimate. I think I've been underestimated a lot just in being a former beauty queen and Playboy playmate. That dumb blonde stereotype, but that's always worked in my favor.
Ugh, not the stereotype.
No. Outside the win, I'm hoping that I actually do make some genuine friendships. I'm really looking forward to America seeing who I truly am and having a lot of fun in the process.
She's boring. I'll be honest. She kind of bores me. I don't really know. Okay, this definitely does help her a little bit, especially compared to some people who don't know what Big Brother is. My worry about her is when she says that she's too loud. I think that's going to be an issue. I think people are going to get annoyed by that. This is a much older cast, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
And like, usual. I don't think they're really going to want to hear her like screaming and things like that. So I do see that potentially hurting her as well. I also just don't know who she's going to bond with in the house. Like that's the thing. I don't really know who she's going to bond with, what she's going to have in common. I just don't really see things going super well for her. I'm not saying that like she's going to flop. Like I don't think she's a Lamar or a Chris Kattan, but I don't see her being like a Mirai or Cynthia either. I think she's very much in the middle for me, and I don't really know how she's going to do, but I can tell you from those answers, I'm kind of bored just from her overall. So I don't really feel like we're going to get much from her.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, like, I don't really know exactly how far she's going to make it. Like, how she said she's too loud. That will definitely annoy people. Honestly, the farthest I see her making it is to maybe like 6 maybe. But I don't really
see her being like a Brandy Glanville. I do. I see her going. Yeah, that's where I see her going.
I don't really think I see her being like very physical. Maybe just like I can see her being somewhat under the radar, but like very over the top in a way. Like maybe she's like under the radar game wise, but like over the top very with her personality. But yeah. I don't know. I don't really know who she is. I don't know how to really feel about her yet.
I will say, I do see her going up the first week. I don't think she's first boot, but I see her being like a pawn the first week. I think that she could be in that position.
Yeah, she could possibly be a pawn of the season. But yeah, I don't really see her making it like farther than 6th or so.
Yeah, but, I don't know. Really I see her being that person where it's like, what is Shanna doing?
No. Yeah.
You know, that's where I see her.
Oh, also, speaking of Mirai, shout out to my friend Carrie. She met Mirai as well because she also loves figure skating.
I fucking wish. That's really cool. Okay, let's talk about...
Carrie's met quite a few people.
Yes. So we already talked about the one Real Housewives person. Let's talk about the other Real Housewives person on this season. Okay, that could be interesting with her and Lamar. Okay, I actually didn't see that dynamic. I think Lamar's already going to go early, I think, but that's especially going to make him go early. Shannon's going to be like, I need him out of here. So
yeah. Oh, yeah.
We'll see. Or it could be the other way around where Lamar wants her out of there. I don't know.
That's true.
That could be interesting.
It's like I can see them like targeting each other.
I can see them targeting each other, but I can also see it being one of those things where they're so fixated on targeting each other, like they don't really focus on anything else. Like it's kind of like Big Brother 18. Remember when like Davon and Frank and Tiffany were like after each other, and that's all they focused on. And by the time that like, you know, they all went back to back pretty much. Like I can kind of see that happening with like, say, Lamar and Shanna. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. But let's talk about the next person. Someone that I know a lot of people are not very happy is on this cast. And I don't know why, but because I don't know anything about her, like a lot of these people.
Oh, she's this daughter of him.
Okay. Well, who is she?
You're reading her. You're reading her.
No, it's you.
Because I read Shanna.
Oh, I'm stupid. Okay.
No, you're not stupid.
So, yeah, Teddi Mellencamp, she is the daughter of singer John Mellencamp, obviously. She's made a name for herself in very different ways. For the past 5 years, she was on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Again, my favorite. Also, a CEO of her own lifestyle and fitness brand, All In by Teddi. So she's basically like an influencer, I guess. And yeah, I mean, we're really scraping at the bottom of the barrel here in terms of celebrities. But anyway, let's get to some of her answers. Okay, so her best advice that she received before coming out to play is to go in and let true relationships be formed and not try to force anything. I don't think that's a bad answer. But that's not the thing I would say going in that I'm going to do. Like, I don't think that's like my first thing I'd think of, but some of the other house guests may dislike about her. She's going to try to not be so type A and organized. She's going to try to be one of those live and let live people. And she doesn't really know if it'll happen because she's 40. Well, she's
honestly, I don't know why this makes me laugh, but it says I'm 40.
I mean, I don't think she realizes the majority of this cast is in their 40s, so. But
I'm 40.
It's important for you to be strategic or social butterfly. She says that if you're the social butterfly, you can also be a strategic mastermind. Sure, I guess.
Sure,
But
I guess.
what are the other house guests going to underestimate about her? She says that she thinks people are going to underestimate her ability to read others. That basically for her in her life, she gets this feeling if somebody's going to be good or bad to her, that it's hard for her to shake it. And outside the win, she wants to try to form new relationships, get to be in a situation where she's not tied to her phone. And she hopes that in a house where she has less access to do it, that she will micromanage every little detail of her life, and she wants to stop doing that. Big wild card once again. I don't know how she's gonna do. I really don't. What do you think?
Honestly, I do not see her making it far. She gives me first or second boot energy. Just like, I don't know. I heard she's kind of problematic.
Yeah. I don't know specifically what she's done. I just heard some people say that she's like an awful woman.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what, but that honestly is a big turnoff. So I don't really see her vibing with like maybe anyone except maybe like Shanna or someone. But yeah, honestly, I don't think she's a wild card. I just think she's an early boot. Nothing really much about her. Like, I don't really like her yet. Maybe she'll surprise me. Who knows?
That's interesting.
What? Interesting.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how she's going to do. We'll see. Definitely not someone I'm that excited for. Now, the next person we're talking about, though, I actually am a big fan of. You wouldn't expect me to be, but I actually do know this next person quite well, actually, and you're going to introduce him.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah.
All right, this is Todd Burgess.
Yeah, that too. They could align.
Could be, but I don't know. I feel like Teddy. I honestly don't see Teddy and Cynthia vibing.
Well, I could see it being one of those scenarios where like the two of them get close, and then Teddy like is seen as like her right-hand woman, and she's taken out because of it. So,
yeah. All right, Todd Burgess.
Todd Burgess.
Todd Burgess was once the subject of the sitcom catchphrase heard around the world, playing Willis on the sitcom Different Strokes. He's continued to act since his days as a kid, including a recurring role in Everybody Hates Chris.
Yeah, so fun fact about Todd Burgess, I actually have seen quite a few episodes of Different Strokes. I went through a weird phase when I was like 14 or 15 where I was just watching like a bunch of like old like 70s and 80s sitcoms, and Different Strokes was one of them. So I actually am a pretty big fan of him going in. That being said, his answers, oh my God, horrendous. Like, I'm going to warn you right off the bat. These are up there with Chris Kattan and Lamar, unfortunately. There you go. I feel like that kind of sums it up. Like, just looking at how it is.
Yeah, these best advice you received: be myself.
All right.
Something they may dislike about you: being myself.
I mean, he's honest.
Yeah, at least he's honest in that sense. More important, be strategic mastermind or the social butterfly. The thing is, I'm a very social butterfly, but you know that there's a game to that. Sometimes a social butterfly turns out to be a big ass bee.
Whatever the fuck that means, but okay.
Sure. What will the other house guests underestimate about you? How smart I am. That's it.
Okay.
Outside of the win, what are you hoping to get most out of your time in the Big Brother house? A different part of my life.
All right. Give us nothing. Anyway.
No, girl, give us nothing.
No, literally, I got absolutely nothing from any of those answers. I will say, though, I do actually see him doing pretty well. I see Todd Burgess being a underdog. I see him being someone that is a little bit more aware of what he's getting himself into. I don't get the sense from that he doesn't know what he's getting himself into. I just get the sense that he just had very brief answers. Like, I will say that. Not very good answers, but it's not like Chris Kattan or Lamar where it's very clear they don't know what they're getting themselves into. I feel like Todd has a better idea of what he's getting himself into, and I can actually see him doing kind of well in this cast. I think there are people that he is going to vibe with. I'm not really sure who exactly he's going to gravitate towards, but I can see him getting kind of far overall. And I do agree. I can see the Ricky Williams upside where it's like,
I can see that.
And Ricky was one of those people where I kept saying, like, he's going to go this week. He's going to go this week. And then he didn't. And he got all the way to the end. And I don't know if Todd Burgess is going to do as well, but I can see him being one of those people where we're like, oh, my God, he's still here. So, yeah, I mean, I think he's definitely a little bit better than some of the people we've talked about. What do you think?
I mean, I actually don't mind him. Like, his interviews, his answers are pretty horrendous, but I mean, he at least has a clear idea of what he's getting into. I don't see him making it super far, but I definitely see him making it to like maybe 4th or 5th at most, not like to the end. Like, I definitely see him making it far, but not right to the end. So he'll probably just be like someone who I could see him being like an easy pawn, or just kind of like, maybe I can see him bonding with certain people, but like, I don't know. I feel like he could be like a dark horse in this game.
Yeah,
but I don't see him winning.
No. Not compared to other people. Yeah, I think overall he's gonna be. I think he's going to do better than some of the other people we talked about. I just don't know how well he's going to do. So, yeah, that's how I feel about Todd Burgess. Let's talk about our last person here. Oh, my God. Probably the most obvious out of everyone that was going to be in this cast. I think we knew from day one that this person was going to be here no matter what. Let's talk about Todrick Hall. So he, was on American Idol in 2010. Obviously now he is a big YouTuber that's made him a sensation. It's given him albums, tours, a documentary series, also in Kinky Boots. We can't forget that. He was in Kinky Boots, and other Broadway shows, but he also has a judge spot on RuPaul's Drag Race. So immediately him and Carson are probably going to bond. I will say that. I think those two are probably going to work very well together. But let's get to his answers, because here's the thing. A lot of these people, these bios, they, very similar to that. So a lot of these bios, they're very brief. Some of them have a little bit more to them. Todrick writes a fucking novel here.
He did.
Answer. So the best advice he received before coming to play, he talks about advice he received from his good friend Tommy Bracco from Big Brother.
Okay, so what annoys me about that is he said Tommy instead of the people that from BB23 that literally stayed at his house.
Yeah, I was surprised about that. I will say we did have a friend rebuttal that like him and Tommy probably knew each other before Big Brother, because Tommy obviously was in like other Broadway shows. So I would assume they've probably been friends for a while. But
makes sense.
Tommy, I guess, told him that he doesn't want to have any regrets. He's a super fan of the show. It's not about the money to him. And while that would be nice and helpful for him as an unsigned artist, he thinks that going on a show like Big Brother is more about the experience. He wants to experience every single part of it. He talks about how he isn't a person that really lives on the edge a lot, so he's really nervous about things, and winning has always been something that's so crippling to him. And that basically, when he was on The Masked Singer, he was like so focused on whether or not he would win that he didn't necessarily enjoy the experience. And I can relate to that. I've definitely done that in games before, where like I want that win so badly, I don't really focus on anything else. And he talks about how like oftentimes the people who win the show don't really win in life, and that a lot of the times the people that everyone loves from the show are people who just had an incredible time and took advantage of every second that they have in the house. And that's kind of what he wants to do. He's not really focused on the win. He just wants to have a good time and make good television and maybe make lifelong friends than to win the money. If he wins the money, he doesn't really care. And so that's his longest answer, but the other answers are almost just as long. So something that the other house guests may dislike about him, aside from giving extremely long answers, he talks about how he can be a little judgy if people get too emotional. Yeah, that too. Like, I don't know how he didn't take advice from like Tiffany or Hannah when they were literally in his house, but whatever. Frankie wasn't a bad player. Like, I'll say that. Frankie was a good player.
He was a good player, but he was just annoying.
Not my favorite player, but definitely a good player. But some of the other house guests may dislike about him is that he talks about how he can be a bit judgy if people get too emotional. People who cry all the time get on his nerves, and that he's a person that has gone through so much that when a situation presents himself to him, he can always say, Todrick, in 2 months from now, you won't care about this. And basically, he doesn't want to harp on it too much. And that if he thinks someone's wrong, even if he loves them, he will call them out on it. And that does not, that worries me. That definitely worries me a lot. I feel like he's going to be a little too blunt, and I don't think he's going to bond with people as well as he should. But he talks about if it's important for him to be a strategic mastermind or the social butterfly, and he says that strategic mastermind is what he would rather be, but he doesn't know if he's going to be more of a social butterfly. He thinks that everybody wants to say that they're a strategic mastermind, but if he's being self-aware, he thinks he's going to fall more in the social butterfly category. So interesting. And then he says that the other house guests are going to underestimate that he's very easygoing. He can get along with pretty much anyone if there's an enemy in the house, unless they're just god-awful. He can see them being an enemy of his, but he can't imagine himself doing that. But who knows what he's going to be capable of in the house. And then outside the, oh my God, we got another really long thing here. Outside the win, he says he's hoping to gain friends and people in the industry who understand where he's coming from. This industry is lonely, and oftentimes the friends that he has are closest to who he can emphasize with, and that he's most excited to be in a group of people who have all at some point in their lives and careers have probably been misunderstood. He thinks it'll be good therapy for him to be able to talk to people who understand what it's like, and that a lot of people who don't have the experience to draw from. So to be in a room full of celebrities who have experienced it, who have lived with it, who, Jesus Christ, is something I think is going to be tremendously helpful for me, the future, my longevity in the industry, and for my mental health. All right, we got through all of that. We got through all of that. Very long-winded answers.
So, 50 years later.
I know. we're gonna be as old as some of these people in the house by the time we're done with that. But no, anyway, in all seriousness, I'll be honest. I don't see Todrick doing well. I really don't. This is my thing. Yes, he's probably the person going in. What were you gonna say?
Oh, I have quite a bit to say too.
Yeah, this is my thing. Yes, he's probably going in like having the most knowledge of the game. Obviously, he bonded with like a cast for like over a month. They were literally in his house, and like he probably got a lot of advice from them for that. And I also feel like a big reason why he ended up doing that, a big reason why he ended up doing what he did, letting them stay in his house, was to be on Celebrity Big Brother. I wouldn't be surprised if that's part of the reason that he did it. My worry is that he's going to go in so overconfident. He's going to overplay his hand, and people are going to clock it very early on, and he could end up being like first or second boot because of it. So, yeah, I don't see him doing well at all. I feel like Jonathan Bennett, Celebrity Big Brother 2, that's kind of how I see this going for him. He's going to have a lot to say. He's going to be very outspoken. People are going to clock what he's doing. He's going to be making all these deals like round one, he's going to be making all these deals like round one. They're all going to compare notes, and his entire game's going to implode because of it. I just don't see Todrick doing well. I think especially when he talks about how he's very blunt and he's not good with when people are crying and things like that. I think people are also going to have an issue with that because, I mean, let's face it, like, it's still COVID. These people are away from like their families and things like that. So like in the heat of the moment, like things like that are probably going to happen. So like, I just don't see Todrick doing well really at all in this season. I hope the best for him, but I just do not see this working out. I agree with Adrian. I do see them being the Jonathan or the Shannon. And I honestly think Shannon is more where Todrick's going to end up going. I definitely think that's what's going to end up happening. I think he's going to be like a Shannon Elizabeth where he gets in, plays really hard, and then he ends up going like really fucking early. So yeah, that's how I see him going the Friday eviction.
Honestly, with Todrick, like he's going to be the person who knows like the most. But he's the person that's the definition of he's going to play too hard, too fast. So I could see him being like backdoored round one.
Yep.
Maybe he could make it far potentially, but like if they really want to like keep him around for the chaos and that target ahead of them.
Yeah, or if he makes some connections.
Honestly, like I feel like he's going to be like backdoored round 1 or 2 at most.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, we talked about his connection with like him and Carson, but I feel like Carson, even if he bonds with him, I think if Todrick really overplays his hand, like Carson's going to be willing to just like, you know, just take him out right then and there. I don't think Carson's going to want to keep that target around for too long. I think the difference between Carson and Todrick is that Carson is going in knowing that he can't play too hard too fast, and that he's got to be, you know, he's got to be pretty easygoing. He's got to be pretty nice for people to naturally gravitate towards him. Whereas Todrick's going to come in as this big personality and people are just going to be really turned off by it. So yeah, I don't see things going well for him at all.
Yeah.
Again, I know that he's probably one of the bigger names in this cast, obviously, probably the most well-known in this cast.
Yeah, pretty much.
Everything that's happened recently. But unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be worth it. I don't see him doing well very much at all. So yeah, that's where I see Todrick going. But anyway, let's get down to this draft. I'm very curious to see who we're going to draft at this point.
Oh, also, right before we went live, I put our names on random.org, and Kevin will be picking first.
Yes, we're going to do a snake draft, obviously. I'm very curious to see who we're even going to draft at this point because of the fact that, there's very few people here. Welcome back. I didn't know you left. But there's very few people here that I feel like we are optimistic towards, but we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick this person because, I mean, I feel like she's everyone's winner pick at this point. She's a student in the game. She knows the game really well. You're going to be pissed at me that I'm going to pick her right off the bat.
Gosh, I wanted to pick her.
I feel like she has the best chance of possibly winning this entire thing. I really enjoy her, you know, game awareness and things like that. So I got to just go ahead and pick Mirai. I feel so many great things about her going into this game. I think just the knowledge that she has, but also just the way she looks at the game is really going to help her out a lot. Like I said before, I like the fact that she's not harping on the fact that she's going to do well physically. She's much more focused on the social and strategic aspects. I don't think people are going to expect her to be as well positioned as she is, and I think she's going to get really far because of it. So overall, definitely Mirai is my pick. But go ahead.
I mean, I wanted to pick her. She's my favorite, but it's okay.
I know. I had to. I was thinking about not doing it, but I was like, why not? I have all the power.
All right, my first pick is going to be Cynthia.
Okay.
Because obviously she's obviously very connected, and she has a lot of potential to make it really far. She's very, very smart, and she'll probably be like underestimated in that sense, and like obviously because of her age and everything. But yeah, I can definitely see her doing really well.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna go with a completely just random pick here and pick Todd.
Oh no, it's a snake draft, so I pick another.
Oh yeah, okay.
And then you pick two after.
Okay.
My next pick is going to be. I'm gonna go with You know what? Let's go with Shanna.
Okay. Okay.
Like, I mean. Yes, because she's loud, but I do see her making it at least somewhat far. Maybe she'll surprise me. Maybe her loudness will like actually come into play. Maybe she'll use it to her advantage. Who knows?
I don't know.
Also because she's a wild card.
Most of the cast is a wild card. Like, let's be honest.
That's true.
All right, so for me, I'm going to go ahead and just pick these two people because I feel like they're the only other two people here that I legitimately want to draft at this point. Obviously, I'm going to pick Carson Kressley because I feel like he has a really good chance of making it far in this game. I think if it's not Mirai that's going to win, or if it's not Cynthia, I could very well see him winning. I think he has a very good idea of what he's getting himself into. He's not trying to overplay his hand. He's going to go in and he's going to be very likable and a social butterfly, but he's going to have those strategic aspects to him that people aren't going to be expecting. He's going to eventually, showcase them in a very good way, and I think he's going to get very far because of it. So yeah, definitely him. And then this next person I'm picking, not just because he's one of the only people I know, but also because I think he is going to be like a big underdog, potentially wild card this season. I am going to pick Todd Burgess. I think that, yes, he gave very simple answers. Yes, he was very, he didn't really give us a lot in terms of anything that he said, but I do get the sense that he has a little bit more of an idea of what he's getting himself into, and I think that is overall going to help him. And I also just don't see him someone that people are going to want to target. I think people are going to like him. I think he's going to be fun to watch, and I think overall he is going to get at least semi-far. So yeah, I'll go with him. But good luck with your next few picks. I don't know who the hell you're going to pick next.
All right. I'm going to go with, let's see.
Who do you even pick next?
I'm going to go with Nisha, just because at least
we've come around. This is a character arc. We started off and you didn't know who she was, and now you're willing to draft her.
Well, it's mainly because she said she's a physical threat. She'll probably be like one of the dark horses for sure. Like, I mean, I could see her being targeted early, but maybe not. Maybe she'll win the first few, like the first HOH and all the. Maybe she'll be a veto queen. Who knows? We'll see. And let's go with. My next pick is going to be. You know what? Let's go with Kirkpatrick. Because I mean.
Okay.
He's not like. What did I say he was going to be an early boot? I don't remember.
I feel like we said most of these people are going to be early boots.
He's like someone who could make it far, but it really just depends on like what happens, honestly. So, and also, I mean, NSYNC, I grew up with them, so let's go with him.
Shit. Who do I even pick next?
You get two more, and then I get one.
I don't want to do these two because I just feel like they're like not gonna do well. And then Todrick, I'm not sure. I feel like he's gonna really overplay his hand, so I don't really know. Fuck it, I'll pick Teddy. Listen, I don't think she's gonna do super well in the game at all. But I do think that she is gonna at least get somewhat far, and I don't think she's gonna flame out as quickly as some of these other people. So yeah, I'll just go with Teddy.
All right, so I just pick one then, right? No, you pick two. You pick one more.
Oh my god. Okay, fine. I'll do Todrick because these other two are like very bottom of the barrel.
Damn, I was gonna pick Todrick.
You want to take Todrick?
I mean, if it's stuff, I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Fine.
No, it's okay. You can have him. It's up to you.
I mean, I don't know.
I guess I'll go with Chris Kattan because I mean he could be a Mark McGrath.
Yeah, that's true. He could be.
And then also, what we decided is if, say, one of our people, our first boot, Lamar will, whoever's like undrafted will replace the first boot.
Okay. So
or if like, or whatever, or like replace whoever loses someone first.
Yeah. Okay. So Lamar is undrafted at the moment.
Yeah. Like if one of us lose one of our people, then he will replace them.
I mean, it could very well happen with this cast. It really is like very up in the air at this point with how this is going to go. But yeah, if you guys want to look one more time. So I have Mirai, Carson, Todd, Teddy, and Todrick, and Aly has Cynthia, Shanna. What the hell's her name? Misha.
Even you don't know who she is.
I literally forgot her name for a second. And then Lamar is the only person we have not drafted. Gonna be an interesting season. That's all I'll say. Gonna be a very interesting group. I like how random this group is, but at the same time, I don't have, like we said, we don't have a lot of impressions going into this cast, going into the season. And I think that's going to make the season a little bit more interesting.
Obviously, we want Final Two to be Mirai and Cynthia.
Yes. Maybe Carson as well. You can.
Yeah, Carson too. I should have picked him second, but I mean, Shanna could surprise me too.
I thought you were going to. That's why I picked him.
I actually kind of forgot. I was like, oh, whoops, I meant to pick Carson.
Yeah, I thought you were going to do Carson. But yeah, other than that, that's it for this draft. We're very excited for this season. I don't really know how it's going to fully play out, but I just hope that it turns out to be a really fun season overall. We'll have to see how it does end up going. But that's really it for this video. As always, comment down below. Let us know what you guys think of this cast, what you think of our draft picks, all that stuff. Maybe there's some people we're underestimating. Maybe we should have drafted Lamar. Maybe Lamar has these strategic abilities that we didn't know about, but right now
maybe Lamar is going to be one of the best players of the season.
Yeah, maybe he'll be one of the best players in Big Brother history. I don't know. We'll have to see. But either way, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We will see you guys in our next video, and we will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.
Bye.